Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. My name is Francine, and this is my channel, the Hermetic Herald, here for a channeled message for a celebrity in particular. So I'm going to be doing something a little different today. I want you guys to know that I'm kind of just getting my space situated because I have not as much space as I used to have on my phone, so I have to do lives now. So I'm going to be doing a live. I'm going to be trying it out. I know it's late, so I'm not expecting a lot of people here today, but I hope that when you see this, that you enjoy the video. So I will see and tune into the energies of Taylor Swift and of Harry Styles today. I'm going to be touching base with them past and then also current energies. So thank you guys so much for being here. I feel like there's a reason why I feel so drawn to do this on a live. This is not the typical way I do it. I usually do it where I have, the comfort of my own space. I have the ability to edit if something interrupts me. So I'm gonna try to do this with my baby sleeping and see what happens. So thank you guys for being here. If you're interested in supporting my channel, check out my other content. I have a lot of celebrity tarot readings that I do. I do something every day. So if you guys have an artist that you like, an actor, someone that you resonate with, feel free to reach out and check out my information at the Hermetic Herald, wherever that is for you guys. I'm so new to lives, so I'm going to see what comes through while you guys are watching this, if you guys tune in. Okay, so spirit guides, angels, ancestors, thank you so much for this time and this space. Please prepare us for the messages that are going to come through for Taylor Swift and for Harry Styles. What would you like to tell us in regards to their past energies? So I'm going to be touching base on a couple of things. So I'm going to be touching base on one, their aura surrounding the relationship. Number two, what are the areas that require more attention? Number three, what are the areas for growth together that they could have explored and expanded on? So this is going to be like all of the potential stuff that would have worked out or would have helped the relationship work out. We're going to look into what that was and the dynamic between them. We're going to look at what should they have paid closer attention to that they didn't do. And then also, what is the most likely outcome? I have my fro out. I actually, if you guys have seen my other content, I used to have locks down to here and I cut my hair. So be nice in the comments if you want to comment on it. But it's been interesting not having my hair down my back anymore. So without my locks, it feels kind of interesting, but I just want to see you guys and also be more attentive to my group and the people that resonate with me. So, okay. Spirit guides, angels, ancestors, what are the areas that need more attention for Harry Styles and for Taylor Swift here? I'm hearing impossible. So I don't know if one of them was saying that a lot, where they were just like, this is impossible. They were so tired of the situation. Areas that need more attention is down there. What are the areas for growth together? We have that. Oh, what should they have paid closer attention to? And what is the most likely outcome? Nice. So we have at the bottom of the deck here, the Hermit, okay? So the Hermit, the High Priestess, and we have Death. Okay, so when you see the Hermit, you know it's about your intuitive nudgings. It's about your spiritual growth, of going into the dark, of doing what it takes to acquire the knowledge and insight that comes from the depths of the dark. It's about taking your inner light and exploring the depths. So there's an energy of them exploring a lot of things that were not said or not seen by people on the outside. So from the outside looking in, you would see this as something simple, but for them, there was a lot of transformation that went on in the mental space. It feels like what happened between them was that they grew in a lot of understanding the dynamic between them and why it didn't work, understanding their intuition and why they were brought to each other, why they met each other. It feels like a very transformative period. You guys are seeing three major arcana for the overall energy for these two. So this was not all relationships are meant to last, but this was meant to show them something very deep about their intuitive sense about relationships in general. This was meant to show them something about themselves, and it was really dark in the energy. It could be a karmic connection, so we'll see what happens. But at the bottom underneath that is the 10 of Pentacles and the King of Cups. So it's an energy of like, there's something ancestral here with regards to them. I'm feeling really strongly like this had something to do with the perception of a male in Taylor's life, a father figure. So that we're going to touch into that and look into that a little bit more. But I'm feeling an energy of like there's some ancestral karma surrounding her with regards to men. And that he showed her something about that dynamic within her. Okay, so let's see what comes through. So first one we have is the aura surrounding the current relationship. That is the 5 of Pentacles. So when I see the aura surrounding the current relationship here as the 5 of Pentacles, it's that there was nothing growing, there was nothing coming through. When I visualize this, I see someone trying to sow seeds for something to grow, and it's just not coming through. So they're not breaking the ground. They're not actually seeing the manifestation of what they had wanted this relationship to be in the past. So someone here felt left out in the dark. Someone here felt like they weren't involved in affairs. They weren't like communicating with each other. They weren't walking with each other. They felt disconnected towards the end of the relationship. So we naturally know that there were some things that were said about the background of their lyrics and what Harry has done. I've heard the bare minimum about what happened between them, but we're already getting an energy of this was something that was really hurtful and painful for them because it made them feel like they didn't really know who they were. It was like there was no recognition. When you're on the outside looking in, there's a sense of like, I don't understand you. I don't feel like you want to understand me, and I'm standing out here in the dark, and I don't think you care enough to want to come and take me out or pick me up or try to help me understand you. It was a very sad energy. Now, the 5 of Pentacles can also denote that they were feeling left out in the dark when they were together from other people. So we're going to see and determine what else is going on here. Okay. Yeah, 5 of Pentacles is like they weren't growing in abundance together. They were individually very powerful energies, but they were not together and united as like a united front together. And that can really affect your abundance and what comes through. Like if you feel like there's someone attached to you, like a soul contract that you have with someone, and you feel like they're weighing you down, you tend to not do as much or flourish in the way that you're meant to when you're feeling stagnant or you're feeling stifled by something. I feel a stifling energy. So what are the areas that needed more attention? The Lovers. Okay, so the area that needed more attention was the love. It was the passion. I'm hearing redirection. I feel like they were meant to redirect their energies towards something. And I feel like rather than doing that, they ended up butting heads. The Lover's energy could be soulmate energy. This could be just the dynamic between them as not being as lovey-dovey as it needed to be. Of caring for the heart of the individual. I feel as though there was like this coldness to them. Because when I see the 5 of Pentacles, it means like there was some abrasive words and also abrasive energy towards each other in the past, towards the end of this relationship naturally, but it was happening throughout the relationship. They weren't focusing as much on the connection, the dynamic of how they fell in love enough. They needed to pay more attention to this energy. I feel like they got more in their heads, or they got more into the physical aspects of their relationship, meaning their like pentacles. They were focusing on their pentacles more than they were focusing on the relationship and the dynamic, if that makes sense. Soulmate energies, they can be karmic, or they can be someone that you're with for the long haul. But karmic relationships tend to show you the divide between you and the distinctions between you. They tend to show you the triggers within you. And I feel like they were so focused on, it was like there wasn't that love there. There wasn't enough love to balance out all of the things that came with that. So it was like they became abrasive. There's just an abrasive energy coming through here. They really feel like the dynamic with Adam and Eve. They feel a lot like, you know, towards the end when they were bickering a lot and they were like, well, you're the one to blame because you gave me the fruit and this and that. What this was based off of, basically. there was a bridge between them that they weren't closing and they weren't addressing. There was a gap between them that they weren't addressing there. So that affected them because they were kind of pointing fingers at each other rather than trying to address it and bridge the gap together. What are the areas for growth together for these two? We have the sun in reverse. So when I see the sun in reverse, that tells me that usually with the sun upright, I would have said their areas of growth together would have been in really looking towards the future and having a more positive outlook, a joyful outlook on life. But I feel as though they were almost ignorant in the sense of the sun backwards or the sun reversed typically feels like the energy of like a little too flippant about the things that were really going on that were really supposed to be addressed. The bridge between them and the gap between them was something deeper and they weren't addressing it. They were kind of ignoring it and kind of saying la-di-la, like, you know, like just kind of like plugging their ears is what I'm feeling. Strongly, Spirit wants to recognize and tell you guys that the reason why this didn't work out in an area of growth was them addressing things head on instead of just kind of saying like, we can wait until, we can do this later. Let's do this later. And they were kind of focused in on, they feel so cerebral in their energy. They were so cerebral and kind of ignoring the signs before it came. They were thinking too much about focusing on it being positive, on everything being so great and just like they were so doting on each other, but they weren't addressing the deeper issues at first. They were kind of like ignorant to an extent. And I don't mean that offensively at all to anyone. It just feels that way here. Let me put the music on again. Spirit, there's a message here for the sun in reverse. So let me see what that is here. And thank you guys for tuning in. Whoever is here, definitely don't feel like a stranger. I am not used to doing lives, especially like at midnight. So let's see what's going on here. So we have major challenges to overcome, which is what we know. Okay, so they had a major mountain or something that was not bridged. So that is something we know for sure. Vulture, depression, anxiety, worry that someone is against you. They felt like they were pitted against each other. This is the dynamic I feel really strongly. And I keep referencing, I know I keep referencing Adam and Eve, but like it feels like that. They started pitting each other against each other and they were kind of like throwing each other to the wolves in a sense where the love wasn't there enough. It wasn't there. And it's weird to see a relationship with Taylor Swift and Harry not start off in love. It was more so an attraction, but it wasn't a deep like connection in the sense of like both people or parties were open in their heart space to each other. There was some blockage before they got to the heart. Victory in some endeavor. I feel as though they're a very victorious energy though. It's just between the two, I think they both triggered each other so much, but they had an attraction to each other. And the love there was just kind of stifled. So we have dealings or relationship with a man coming through as well. Just a lot of, there was a bridge here. Energetically, it feels like a blockage. But there was this great passion. So that's what I'm saying. Like there's passion, but there's not a lot of like care. And this was a partnership that worked for them because it says here a marriage that will take place either romantic or business. And I feel like it's a business partnership dynamic where they liked each other, definitely, but they weren't like lovey-dovey about each other at the beginning. Interesting. I feel almost like the energy of like nervousness, and I don't know why. It's like, this is not what I expected, but I also don't really know much about them. Apart from the readings, this is all I know. So let's look into what should they pay closer attention to. Let's look into that. Justice, balance. There wasn't enough balance between the two of them. I think it was a power struggle. I'm hearing power struggle a lot. So these two were really strong energies, and I'm seeing red for fire, very fiery energy. He has the King of Wands in most accounts, like most readings I do for Harry. He's consistently the King of Wands, and she is a Sagittarius, I believe. So it's like the dynamic between them is so powerful that it almost feels like they always fight. There's like a competitive energy to them, and I feel like they were passionate, but it was like that angry passion type energy here. Is there anything you'd like to say about that, Spirit? Because I feel like there's more to this story. Like, can you say anything about the passion? Whoa, okay. So we had the Queen of Cups come through. What's interesting is Harry usually gets he's a very interesting energy in that he comes through as more of a feminine or accepting of the feminine energies, and I'm getting the Queen of Cups. So it's like he was almost like a motherly energy at some points with her, and I don't think she liked that, Taylor, specifically. That's coming through. And feel free to let me know in the comments what you think, because this is interesting. Four of Wands. This was like a partnership. This was something they celebrated and they really enjoyed. I feel as though they felt like a kinship in that regard, but there wasn't like a soul, like a really soul connection in the sense of like, I love you, I want to be with you, I see you with me, I see us together long term, but it feels like a dynamic of power. Like you're powerful, I'm powerful, but there is this Eight of Swords energy where they were kind of caught up in their mind about this. Earlier, we had the Five of Pentacles for their aura surrounding the relationship. The aura was already, I'm hearing dingy. It was already kind of dingy. Look at the Five of Cups. It was kind of like they were fighting and battling so much that they felt so stagnant together. They didn't seem to grow together. It was more so like, we're powerful. Let's like throw fire at each other and see which burns, who burns first. I don't like seeing that. So that's why I'm kind of like, okay. Okay, so the last card is, what is the most likely outcome? The Seven of Pentacles. So the Seven of Pentacles can indicate that, as we know, it didn't work out. But what it also indicates is that this was taking a while. This was like something in the making that was like it was kind of going on for a little longer than it needed to be. Usually when I see the Seven of Pentacles, I feel the energy of someone that's tired, that's just like done with something. They've looked at it, they took a break, they're staring at their pentacles. Some would say that they're ready to move on into the Eight of Pentacles and work and really tune into their craft. This energy feels like I'm looking at what I'm seeing and I'm not really too proud of it. I'm just staring at it, wondering. And I feel like they stared at their relationship outside of each other. Like when they broke up, they looked at it like, that's what we did together, that's what we made together. And it feels kind of like there was a sense of like tiredness coming through. Even I feel the tiredness right now. And I know it's like late, but this is like, the dynamic between these two is interesting. What's interesting is the number 26 is coming through. And I feel like I also feel like the 16, the Tower card, is significant here. I feel like they went through a major upheaval with this relationship dynamic here. So to recap, for those of you that are here, so much for being here. I hope this isn't weird, the live, hearing about this live out of nowhere. But I just wanted to let you guys know my space on my phone is low. So if you see me on here more often, it's because of that. So I'm going to be posting these as they are and hoping that there's no distractions. So to recap, Five of Pentacles was their aura. Their areas that need more attention was the Lovers, which is not a good energy to see, because if you need more attention to love, there's something about that dynamic. We had the Sun as, what are their areas for growth together? So it was about not having too much of a playful energy, but balancing it out. They were very, very, very overactive in their playfulness. And I feel like they ignored very key components of their relationship that needed to be addressed. So it was almost like an ignorant energy. I see the Fool energy. The Sun in reverse is like the Fool. It's just recklessness a little bit, more so a reckless energy. And when we had what should they pay closer attention to? Justice, balance. There needed to be a distribution of balance of wealth. I feel as though it was uneven between the two of them. They're both very, very successful individuals, but I almost feel like they always butt heads with the energy of like competing with one another. It's not even necessary, but like it was just a natural inclination towards each other because of the great passion they had. So Seven of Pentacles was their outcome. It was looking back on it and saying, okay, this is what we did. It was a thoughtfulness. They had a thoughtfulness about this relationship towards the end. They were thinking of what they learned. At the bottom, I think a number of you guys probably didn't see it, the bottom of the deck was the Hermit, the High Priestess, and it was Death. 3 major arcana. This relationship was fated, but it was almost like it showed them like, we need to move out of this energy. We need to actually start integrating this. There's something to learn in this lesson. Oh my gosh. And is this the same cards? Okay. All right, cool. Knight of Pentacles, they're independent energies. So I'm just getting the same cards over again. So that is interesting. All right. So we're gonna go on to current energies, because I know people are like, okay, we know what happened in the past, that's cool. What is the present energies? And then we're gonna look at their healing messages, and then also the dynamic with their like archetypes, okay? So let's see. Spirit guides, angels, ancestors, can you please help me understand the dynamic between Taylor Swift and Harry Styles that goes beyond what people may know and what they may see and hear? Please give me, I'm hearing secrets. All right, anyway, I'm already getting frustrated and my solar plexus is getting like really dim. I almost feel like the energy of crying, so I don't know why that's coming through. That's not my energy. So, secrets, all right. What is the aura surrounding this current relationship, Spirit? Current energies between Taylor Swift and Harry Styles. Wow, there's like a pit in my stomach. All right, so the current energy, let's see, the star, healing. So there's a healing energy, which is an openness to the experience of learning about what occurred between them and understanding, okay, this happened, but what did we learn from it? How did we become better individuals, learn our lessons, learn what maybe people we attract into our lives? They began to really explore and understand like the depths of why this relationship happened, why it didn't work. Very beautiful.